Right.
And we will
And
say,
then
okay.
I'm going to spotlight myself because I'm going to be clever. I'm going to use my OBS. So basically, I'd like to tell you a story. Press start on your timer, Gareth. I'd like to tell you a story. I'm not going to bore you about video today. I'm actually going to talk to you about a project that I started at the beginning of this year, which is quite personal. I started a project because in 2016, my father-in-law passed away, and he wanted to be scattered in the Troodos Mountains in Cyprus. And while we were there, I thought to myself, how will we know where he is? So I created a Google map and I dropped a pin. And then when my mother passed away in 2023, we scattered her ashes in Margam Park in South Wales, and I added her to the map. Then my father in 2024 went into hospital. This sounds quite depressing. I do apologize, but there is a point. And then he had to go into care. Now, in January, my sister and I were cleaning out the house, my parents' house, ready for sale. And basically, we were going through stuff, and my sister said, the sad thing is, nobody will know who these people were. And that's my grandmother in 1929. Okay. That's my grandfather. Okay. And basically, I thought, why? Why in this digital age should we be forgotten? Why should people be forgotten? Why can't we tell their stories? We live in a digital world. So basically, I thought, why don't I make my map public? So I started up something called Let Us Not Forget. Okay. So essentially, what I've done is I've created a website. The website address is letusnot-forget.com. And this basically is where people can come and they can basically submit the stories, pictures, and video of their loved ones, and then they will be added to my map. Basically, the reason that it started was for the fact that I told you. How it works is essentially people click on the share the memory, and they have a form they have to fill in. Now, I do ask for a £10 donation. I want to keep it down to £10 because I want everybody to be able to access this and be able to use it. But basically, they can add images, a story, a eulogy, or just their story, and then essentially they can submit it to the map, which basically is going to be on the website, but also on Google. So essentially, this is my mother here, and you can see here, there's the story of her life, or the eulogy that I wrote. And then at the bottom, we've got pictures where you can go through, and then a video at the end, which you could play and you could see that. Now, the idea is that essentially people would submit their stories of their loved ones, and then basically, once they're added to the map, then they will get a link to that entry, which they will be able to share with their loved ones and their family and friends. So essentially, it's a way of sharing stories and a way of basically just not forgetting those who we've lost. So I then thought, well, it might get a little bit busy for me because I'm doing it through the form because quite simply, I don't want to make it an open map like the Gennet map where you all, if you haven't yet, you need to go onto the Gennet map, add about your business, add your links, because in reality, people are bloody awful most of the time. And what I don't want is an open map where people can go in and edit stuff. Just look at Wikipedia. Yeah. At the end of the day, I want to have the control over it so that it is viewable but not editable. Okay. Um, so I then started thinking, well, when it does start getting too busy, I want to make it's a slightly philanthropic project because what I'm planning going forward is that what I would like to have is volunteers who will do the entries for me, and they will then be obviously financially rewarded. And what I want to do is I want to vet the volunteers out to be people who've fallen on hard times. So people who found themselves financially difficult times, or a situation's happened in their life where all of a sudden you know, they really are up against the wall, as it were. So there is a slight philanthropic approach to it, because I don't want to launch rockets to the moon, guys. I've got no interest in going to Mars or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I do want to help people, because I enjoy doing it. So essentially, what I'm asking from you lot is basically your help in helping me spread the word about the project, and helping people to be able to share their loved ones' stories, so that we're not forgotten. So why should we be forgotten? Yeah, that's my kind of approach on it. So just again for you, it's the website is www. Because I've got a couple of DNS entries. So if you don't put the www in, it won't go to it. And I can't get onto my bloody DNS servers to change it. But it's www.letusnot-forget.com. And letusnotforget.com was available, but some bugger had bought it and was charging £8,000 for it. As I say, in my experience, people are not that nice. So at the end of the day, yeah, all I'm asking is that you help me spread the word about that. Thank you. And that's it. And I've still got 1:42. So if you have got any questions, I do have a minute or two, a minute and a half to answer them.
Deborah?
Yes, Deborah.
Is it worth also potentially putting on putting in a calendar so that an email is sent out on the anniversary of their deaths?
That's a good idea. Thank you for that.
Or birthdays.
That's a really good idea. Thank you. Because I'm also
Gareth?
planning down the line. Yeah, sorry, Linda.
It's Sue. I don't know how to put a hand up.
Yeah, you just wave. There's a minute left. So Linda had her hand up first. Go on, Linda.
Is that £10 per entry?
Yes, so it's £10 per entry. It's a donation. I've called it a donation because you can give whatever you want. But I want to keep it low because I have to run the website. I have to run all the stuff I want to develop.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So yeah, so I'm keeping it a tenner. Yes, then go on, Sue.
Is it international?
It's going to be international. Yes, it's a Google map that I've created.
Yeah.
So it is international.
Because that's interesting. If it's international, because it would go really.
I can see a South Africa link coming here.
It's it's scarily international.
Yeah.
Yes, because if the word gets out too fast, I could find myself in a little bit of trouble. I'm going to have to throttle it back. But any other questions?
I just wanted to say that I think it'd be amazing. I'll share it with the charity, because I think they might have some contacts that would like to use it. I also can't work out to put my hand up. I would have otherwise.
The pin, by the way, I didn't mention. The pin is the last resting place or the favorite place of the person who you've added. So it's if you don't want to put the last resting place or whatever like that, then people can literally put that was their favorite place to go on holiday. That was their favorite place to go, whatever. So it's just a way of adding them to it. But that's my time up. So
Gareth, I just want to add one thing. You ask us to spread the word, and of course we will do. Can you give us a form of words that we can do so that we can put it on our socials and everything?
I will be adding stuff later to the WhatsApp and to I'm going to be starting to talk about it more now.
Great. Okay.